been around, you know, motorbikes my whole life. Ever since I can remember, I was when I was a baby, put on and rode around with my father, and you know, things like this. When I was 3, I started to ride myself, you know, with the Yamaha PW50. I was 6. I did my first race in motocross. This was all I really knew you could do when you were as a child. So I did a race, and then I did a few more, but my parents didn't like so much the atmosphere and the paddock environment of motocross, so they sort of steered me away from that, and you know, moved to trials when I was 7. And rode trials from 7 up until last year, so 19. And when I was 12, I first went to Europe to compete over there, and again, that was just the same as the jump from the local level to British Championship. The riders were even better, and the trials was even harder. So to European Championship, and did that for a few years, and then when I was old enough, as soon as I turned 16, went into the World Championship. Trial for sure is the strongest point, and then the other two, it's different, you know. I had no experience in either really, other than the 3 races of motocross when I was 6, and when you're 6, you just try to get around the track. You know nothing about riding motocross. So yeah, up until last year, both of those were like completely zero experience. Obviously, it's much easier to practice motocross and to train motocross. You know, in England we have, you know, lots of tracks and lots of riders. So for me, it's been easy to practice that. The navigation and the GPS side of things was again completely new and a little bit scary at first. You know, to think you're setting off into the mountains in Romania for like 150 kilometers, and you're following yourself. You're following two little computers like this big, and you know, like you're completely on your own out there. So I was completely in at the deep end. Like Romaniacs last year was the first time I ever even used a GPS. So that's more difficult to train, but I think I picked it up pretty good. It's a shame, you know, in the UK we have no races at all which use a GPS, so it's a little difficult for the British riders to really get good at this. But motocross and the navigation will come with experience, and yeah, I'm working hard on them both. I'd say our team, Husqvarna, has the best atmosphere, you know, out of any of the teams. And I'd say probably out of most of motorsport as well. Just you know, everyone. Firstly, to be like teammates to Graham is just crazy. He was like one of the. When I was a kid and I was like a trials fanatic, Graham was one of the world's best riders. So it's so crazy to be teammates with him now in a completely different sport, but that's just how it's gone. And yeah, I think it's working really good for both of us. I'm obviously learning so much of him, but I'm pushing him as well also, I feel, and I feel like I'm pushing him more and more every week as well. So he's enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. My mechanic and his mechanic both get on well, and you know, there's times when we all go out riding together. There's 4 of us, and I'm battling with Graham, and the 2 mechanics are battling with each other as well, and there's a lot of banter flying about, and it's just really good. Everyone's having a good time, but working hard as well. Just the best setup, I think. Of course, you need to test before you go to a race, and in the last few months we've had a lot of races and not so much time in between. So that's mainly the main reason why you don't see us on the injection yet. But I think the technology is incredible, and the advantages it have are massive. And yeah, I'm pretty sure over the winter when we get some time, we'll put some solid hours on it. We'll understand the bike more, and yeah, once we have the understanding, for sure we will be at the race with it, because yeah, the advantages speak for themselves. So yeah, once we have a bit of spare time, you know, the changeover will happen. The way we ride and our crashes, they tend to be when we have a big crash which is going to destroy something. The bike tends to be destroyed whether they have protection or not, and also, you know, just the weight and everything you add to the bike makes the bike handle worse. You know, I know the weight is like less than a kilogram, but you know, it's just you notice the handling and the feeling, and yeah, you can protect one part, but then as soon as the protection stops, you know, you still have a weak part, which I tend to find the part which is covered with the protection is fine, but then the next part which doesn't have protection, this is broken as well. So, you know, when I crash or I hit the ground or rocks, I hit them hard. So something tends to break if you hit it with protection or not. So mainly just for this, but I think if you're going to be doing little fall-offs and lie-downs all day long, I think then and if you have to pay for the parts, it's going to be saving you a lot of money. But I'm lucky, really. I don't need to worry. But even I'm getting better. I'm crashing a lot less than I was this time last year. So touch wood, the protection isn't super necessary anymore. Maybe it's this time last year you could have argued that I should have had it, but I feel I've improved in that area. The hobby riders is they're really stiff on the bike, and it's because they're trying so hard, but they're almost like they become like concrete on the bike, and it's just wasting so much more energy for them. They're like hitting every stone and bouncing and like just relax more, and you know, move on the bike, and you know, don't worry, like just relax. And so I'd say that will help. From what I've seen when I've been here in Israel, the hobby riders, you know, just relax and on the bike, move and use the arms and your legs a bit more. As a racing point of view, I think if you don't have a trials bike, get a trials bike and ride that. That's massive. I think, you know, any rider that's riding hard-enduro that's never rode a trials bike and practiced the technique on a trials bike, I think's at a big disadvantage. Thank you guys, Riders for bringing me here and making me and my girlfriend feel so welcome here. And just to all the guys that come on the school, there's one day left. All of the guys that have been fantastic. You know, everyone's give 100%, and I've seen, well, I think they felt, and I've seen so much improvement. And yeah, it's so good to see enduro be so big in Israel. You know, you don't expect that at all in the UK, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised when I go home and tell them how big it is. But yeah, I think all being well, we should be back soon in the new year to do a few more different things as well as some training schools. So I'm pretty sure you'll hear about them on social media when they happen. But yeah, thanks for having us, and yeah, it's been a pleasure.